I have a friend that says that he can't start a garden because he doesn't have a lot of space. A lot of space and a lot of money. Apparently, those are two things that it takes to start a garden. I don't particularly agree with that. And with that being said, I am hereby documenting how you can start a garden extremely cheap and with not a lot of space. So I went over to the Dollar Tree and I got these stackable pots. Essentially, you would alternate them and put them in the grooves, and you can form a tower of sorts, stacking them pretty much, I wouldn't say indefinitely, but you know, you can get a good amount of space on them. Keep on going up. I bought 7 of these, and with this I'm going to use it as my basis to put my plants inside of it, or my seeds, because we're starting this garden from seeds. The one thing that I do notice about these pots is that they don't come with drainage holes. So I'm essentially gonna stack them all together. I got 7 of them, and I'm gonna drill. You can use any bit whatsoever. I mean, I'm using a pretty thin one. I am using a 532, and I'm gonna just drill a couple holes into them, essentially, so we can get some drainage on them. And I don't want to have to drill 21 holes separately. So what I'm going to do is just stack them together and drill them all at one time. Alright, so using your drills, you'll notice at the bottom of these things, they'll have these plus signs at the bottom. It's essentially where they think you should put the drainage holes. So I'm going to go ahead and use those as essentially a template of where to put my holes. Just understand this plastic is not the very best, so chances are you can break it. So be careful when you're putting the downward pressure with the drill. Oh, they're made pretty easy. You can actually knock them out if you wanted to as well. Just try it out. Now, as I'm going through these things, I want to just remind people, like, it doesn't really take a lot to start a garden, and you kind of have to like it. So I wouldn't say it's for everybody, but practically everybody. If you live a busy lifestyle, you're probably not going to be able to take care of this, but it is therapeutic. It helps me out with my stress. I had developed high blood pressure because of my stress, high blood pressure. And ever since I've been in the garden, it's been somewhat tapered off a little bit. I don't have to take the pills anymore. So again, this is not medical advice, but it's pretty good life advice. Alright, so now that we removed the bottoms, or put drainage holes inside of them, I'm gonna put on some gloves. Also bought these at the Dollar Tree. One size fit most, which on my medium soft hands, they're pretty tight, so it's not bad. Using them the wrong way. You don't need gloves. I just put the gloves on because let's put them on. But it's a little dirt. Dirt's not gonna hurt you unless you're allergic to dirt. In which case, why are you gardening? Alright, so we got that. Now what we need to do is get a bit of our potting soil. I bought this also at the Dollar Tree. I wouldn't say that this is the highest quality potting soil, but to prove the point that yes, we can start a garden with effectively not a lot of money using the Dollar Tree sand or potting soil. It looks like it's a lot of old decomposed matter. It has like wood chips inside of it, so it's not really fine grained. I don't see a lot of styrofoam in there that you would normally find. So let's fill this up a little bit. So, aquí vamos a poner huequito. What is it? What is it? Evenly spacing out.
Eh?
Evenly spacing out. Not a lot of seeds in here. I'll poner dos semillas por cada uno. I eat 2 seeds each. One, two. So I have planted roughly about 2 to 4 seeds for each hole. And to make the holes, I found this old screw. I don't even know what it is, honestly. I don't know what it's used for. But all I did was make a hole. I went about that deep. I don't know, what is it? Quarter of an inch? Yeah, about quarter of an inch. Made a hole. I didn't like force it down. I just spread it out a little bit. Let me show you the holes. I'm not planting anything here because since I plan on stacking it, this is not going to be able to get any sunlight. So what I ended up doing is just making 3 holes per quadrant. So effectively I could grow 9 plants, but since this is chives and I can bunch them together, it doesn't really matter. Then I'm just gonna, roughly close them a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm not packing anything in. This is what I mean about it's not very good for like a potting mix. Usually in potting mixes you don't find twigs this big. It's already decomposed and easy for the plant. And it also has stuff like styrofoam to let it have air inside. It has more materials to keep moisture inside of it. Alright, so the only thing I have left to do right now for this particular project is to water this thoroughly. Alright, so let's water our plants. You're gonna do 2 things on this. You're gonna, number 1, obviously water the seeds to get them to start germinating. Another thing, you want to make sure that your drainage holes are actually working, and that if they get overwatered, then they're gonna actually throw the water out through the bottom. So, not a whole lot of pressure, just a little bit. Make sure the seeds get a good watering. You'll probably notice that when you water this out, the water dripping at the bottom, it's gonna look cloudy, dirty. It's just all the stuff that's in the actual dirt itself. So I think we got a good watering there. And the drainage holes are working. Okay, so realistically, for all intents and purposes, with a small footprint of maybe, I don't know, a foot. Maybe it's a 24 by 24. A 24 by 24, you could effectively grow 3 different types of plants. I didn't grow 3 types of plants because I plan on growing a different plant per pot. So I just put a lot of oregano in there. Chives. So for, let's say the pot was $1.25, 4 seeds for $1. That's $2.25. The gloves, another $1.25. That's $3.50. And then the potting soil was $1.25. So effectively for $4.75, I can grow chives. Am I gonna grow $4 worth of chives or $5 worth of chives? I believe so. If I use the whole pack, I think so. Not only that, chives eventually will seed, and then I can keep on growing more. So I think if you don't start a garden because of not having a lot of space, or thinking it's too expensive, that you have to get the most expensive types of raised beds and the most premium type of soil, I think you're essentially just looking for an excuse not to do it. And I'll show you why, because I've grown chives before, and they're not in the very best conditions, but they're still growing. I don't really take care of them. They get watered when it rains here in Florida, or when the sprinklers hit it, but I don't actively work on it. And my regularly growing chives, they've been completely neglected, yet they still give me chives. They grow back. As you can tell here, I've cut them back quite a few times. Anytime I have, for the most part, I use them for eggs or bagels. Anything I wanted like an oniony flavor without having to actually cut an onion. These are onion chives. So yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're not growing a garden at this point, it's because realistically, not that you can't, don't have a space or the money, it's because you don't want to. Thanks for watching.